Black Student Union. I thank you all for coming, and welcome to Don't Touch My Crown. This event is going to be talking about all things natural beauty, natural hair. Our panelists all have different perspectives that they're going to be sharing with us today as it relates to the hair journey. So we have Kiyoshi Little. She is the founder and the owner of Got Roots Too. I did say that.
You did.
Okay. She is a loctician. Then we have Jess the Blessed. She has a huge following. Funny thing, Jess is a graduate of Post University. She is a hair model and she is a hair influencer. As you can see, she has lots of hair to influence people. And then we have my friend. All of them are my friends. We have Kimberly Bordeaux. Her and I have traveled the journey of hair for quite some time. She is the owner of Salon Bordeaux. She has quite a repertoire of clients in her journey. So each of them are going to provide their perspective on the hair journey. But before I go into my questions, I want them to take the time to introduce themselves and share about themselves in their own words. So I'm going to start with you.
I'm Kiyoshi Little. I am the owner of Got Roots Too, a home-based salon. I am a beautician for 35 years, also a loctician. So I do a range of styles, but a lot of my clients have now transformed over to natural hair. So, being as though they want natural hair, I've transformed them from relaxers to locks. And I am self-taught with a lot of things that I've learned, but I've also gone to school. You do not need a license for locks, but I do have them for chemical services. My husband, I started out with him. I did not start his here, but from the nape down, I just started watching the young lady that was doing his hair, and I'm a visual learner. So a lot of it, I just like, oh, okay, that's into it. I'm like, okay, great. So I just started doing it, and it went from there. So, you know, I also teach healthy hair, and, you know, a lot of questions that are asked. If someone doesn't know, I'm always eager to help them, teach them. It's a journey. Locks are a journey. It's something that a lot of people will either start their journey or end their journey with, or sometimes they cut their locks off and start them back. Always tell them, don't throw them away. I can reattach them. That is repair, so I will reattach them back. So.
Thank you for sharing. So Jess, I'd like to hear from you as well.
Yes. So my name is Jessica Martinez. I did graduate from Post in 2019, so it's really a weird feeling to be back here right now and not see certain things in the upgrades. While I was at Post, I was natural and transitioning from going from using heat to no heat. My last relaxer was in middle school, but I was still consistently flat ironing my hair at home, or my mother was doing it. My last silk press was here on campus my freshman year, and I remember getting my hair pressed and looking in the mirror and hating it, and was like, this does not look like me, this does not feel like me. And I felt like I was going back in time to when I was younger. It was flat, and I was like, yeah, not for me. So I stopped doing it completely. And I'm not one of those type of people that is doing a service. Like, I don't have a salon, and I'm not certified. But one of the things that I have encouraged people to do is to think of their hair with a more of a positive mindset. And that's kind of what I do. So I started making hair content a year ago in December, off of a whim. Just family, friends, and peers always trying to convince me to make hair content. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do it. And so I finally caved and I started to do it. And within 5 months, I had a viral video on Instagram, and it was my hair all fluffed and picked out, like, beyond what I think anyone had, I guess, expected or seen. A lot of people are like, you can't do an afro, you can't do an afro. I'm like, y'all don't know what my hair can do. You see my hair, stretched and pulled down, but you haven't seen the dynamics of what hair can really be, and it can be in so many different forms. It's not just, wash and go, locks and braids, right? There's so many things you can do with your hair. So Now in the evenings, I'm also making hair content online. And I also work full-time. I work in the criminal justice field, which is where I got my degree here in criminal justice. And that's also really fun. It's fun to go to work and have my hair out and have my crown out all proud and still be able to do the important work that I'm passionate about. And then also inspire other people to do the same. So that's a little bit about me.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kimberly Bordeaux. I've been in the industry 36 years. My hair journey is that I totally got into this hair business accidentally. My thing was about fashion and doing nails, and I found that the salons that I was working at were not upscale enough. And so I decided to open up my salon with a young lady who was basically straight out of hair school. And our journey was about education, helping you to learn your hair texture and knowing what you want, and seeing each person as an individual. As I look out in the audience and I see all of you have a different hairstyle going on. So at Salon Bordeaux, we specialize in really to get to know you, the inside and the out, getting to know, making you love your hair and what is your goals for your hair. I have, as I started out in this industry, I was more of the business owner. And then I became a hairstylist after I opened my first salon. And now I'm an artist. So when I see your hair, I see a canvas. And so my job is to educate you on your hair. And everyone's hair is healthy. Everyone can have healthy hair. Everyone their hair is beautiful. You just have to learn what you like and how to take care of it. So we're at Salon Bordeaux, we're about personal care. We get to know you one-on-one, and we come up with an ingredients to help you to grow your hair. So I just love it. I'm an artist, and I'm also, I developed my own product line that helps you to bring out all the different things that you need in your hair. So thank you for having me.
So, as you can see, 3 different people who have the same passion, but they have 3 different perspectives. So, I'm gonna dive right in and ask some questions. You know, when I asked them to come and speak, they were just like, okay, so what do I need to do? Do I need to do a presentation? Do I need to have some products? Do I have to, what do I need to do? I wanted them to be their authentic self. Because when you're passionate about something that you're doing, that can't be staged and that can't be faked. So I didn't want there to be glitz and glamour. I wanted them to be able to share their passion and share their journey in their own words, because I can't speak to each of them. They can only speak for themselves. So Kim, I'm gonna start with you. Kim and I have known each other for a long time, and the journey that I was on when I met her, I was getting my hair relaxed. Didn't know any better. I was a young mom. I was a newlywed. I just knew that I needed to make sure that I didn't need to look beat down like I had been through some things, being married and having young kids. But when I met Kim, she had a very, very relaxing, intimate type of setting. And that's something that a lot of people need to understand about getting your hair done. It's about personal, and it's about feeling beautiful inside as well as out. So it's not just about making sure that your hair is correct, although that is the paramount of all of this, but it's also about feeling good on the inside. So when I met Kim, I felt that as soon as I walked in her shop, she was very welcoming, and she made me feel like I was the only person in the room, although there were other people around. My journey with Kiosha started with my children. She started doing my daughter's hair when my daughter was in middle school, and we stayed in touch ever since. She is now helping my younger son, Darius, on his lock journey. So we have stayed connected, even though I don't have locks, I don't have enough hair to lock. We've stayed connected because of that journey. And then there's Jess. Jess is someone who is from the university, somebody that you guys can connect with, that you can vibe with, because of the fact that she's from here. She's one of you. And being able to bring the perspective of, okay, I'm a college student and I ain't got no money to go to the shop. I wanna look beautiful, but the way that my bank account is set up, I can't do it. So I want them to be able to talk about when they started their journey and what it looked like to them and how they ended up where they are now. So Kim, I'm gonna start with you. You said that you started this journey by accident.
Right.
So when was it, what clicked for you to make you realize that you were in the right lane?
What clicked for me is I realized that salons are not, they don't give you a great experience. And I find that some stylists, you could kind of tell what salon they go to because everybody's wearing the same hairdo. You ever see that? You're like, I know which salon she goes to. She wears the same hairdo. So, and I also found at the time that people needed an experience. And for myself, as a young person, I went to a salon when I was very young. My mom took us to a salon at a certain age. So when I developed Salon Bordeaux, I wanted it to be more catering. I call myself the Louis Vuitton of hair. And what do you think about when you hear Louis Vuitton? Rich, yeah, upscale. So when my clients come in, they're not allowed to have cell phones on. They're not allowed to bring any foods in. When they walk in the door, we greet them. We put a smock on them. We have a designated area for them for their pocketbooks. We have snacks for them. We serve them wine, seltzer water. We tea with lemon, fresh lemon. We give them hand massages. And we talk to them about their day. Every time, I don't care if I've been doing Miss Smith 10 years or whatever, we slow it up and we figure out what she wants to accomplish today. Now, not to mention, we are not overbooked. We do one client at a time. So the music, we play house music because I feel it gives a different vibe, it gives you a different energy, and a lot of people don't experience that. So we always check the scalp, find out what's going on, and we can kind of tell a lot about that. So that's one of the reasons why I opened my own salon and started getting into it, because I knew that that's what I needed. And people need that. Doesn't matter what age you're at. As we all know, we all got money for what we want to have money for, right? So, I don't judge a person like what did they do for a living. Everybody that comes in is treated like the queen, the king, or whoever they are. So that's basically how I got involved, because I realized that it was a need for that. And we lost that in the hair industry. And getting your hair done is a personal thing. She may not like what you like, you may not like what she likes. So that's what's important, is that you gotta find a place that will help you to understand your hair texture. And remember, everybody has good hair. Can we say that?
Yep.
Let's say
Everybody
that.
has good hair. Yes, Lord.
Everybody has good hair. Okay? So.
Reiterate the same question to you. So what clicked for you? So I can relate to what you just said. I started out going into salons when I was young as well. Personally, I want to get in and get out. I don't have time for Mr. Joe with the DVD player and the DVDs that he wants to sell 2 for $5. I don't have time for that. I'm coming in there to relax and get away from the crazy. So I can appreciate what she said about when you go to a salon, no matter if it's in an actual building or if it's somebody's home, you want to be able to escape for a little while. You don't want to have to worry about somebody selling pork rinds, which you really don't need. You don't want to have to worry about getting that pocketbook where you already have enough. You want to be catered to and you want to have that attention. So I can appreciate what you said, because for me, I'm like, okay, if you're overbooked, you need to let me know from the jump so that I can figure out what to do, because I'm not trying to people. Some people want to stay at the salon all day. And it's like, that's not me. I want to get in and get out. And it's a personal journey. You want to be able to enjoy it. You want to be able to be in a position where you are actually enjoying the experience. If you got somebody talking about something over here in the corner that has nothing to do with you and it's invading your time with your space with getting your hair done, that just kind of sets things off a little bit for me. That's just me. Has anybody else experienced that, where you've gone to the salon and you've been there all day long So what was that experience like for you?
It was just like, I was just irritated after a while, cause like, you sit in the chair, and then like, I was getting everybody like, oh my god, I've been here since 8 o'clock, like, why am I been sitting in the chair, like, why am I done this?
Yeah, because you're there to get a service, and for when people do that, it's kind of like they don't really respect your time. You know what I'm saying? But then when the service is over with, they gonna want to get paid. So it's you know, it's a give and take. You know, I mean, we're guilty of it. Some of us as clients will show up 15, 20 minutes late, and we expect to get the whole experience. But then the salon or the person who booked you has another client that's waiting to be serviced. And then they catch an attitude because they have to wait. But that's what we do. We don't respect people's time, and we don't respect people's space. So thank you for sharing that. So Kiosha, tell us what clicked for you.
Well, what clicked for me in the beginning was my mother. My mother, she is now retired, of course. She's a retired hairdresser along with so many other hats. But I've watched her when I was younger, and I was intrigued by it. I was intrigued. I wanted to watch. I wanted to do it. Of course, she wouldn't let me do it. But again, a visual learner, so I just watched everything. And then my sister taught me how to braid. So I used to tell her, braid my hair, braid my hair. Then I would ask her to teach me to braid. Then I learned how to braid. So then as I got older, I'm like, I'm gonna do hair, I'm gonna do hair. So every style that I wanted to do, I would do it myself. And then everybody would see me and ask me who did my hair. So I'd say, I did, and they're like, oh no. Yes, I did my own hair. So as time went on, I just kept doing it, and I started with braiding. And then I just went on to chemical services. And then as the years went on, I'm like, you know what, let me just stop playing games and go get my license. So I went and got my license and started doing everything from braids to weaves to molds to children's hair. Nobody really likes to have the patience for children, but I've done children's hair as young as 2. And I have the patience, but some don't. But you know, even with starting locks, just they wanted to lock their children's hair, and I would talk to them and ask them, are you sure? Because as children get older, they don't want that anymore. I dealt with that with my youngest child, and she cut them off and started twice and cut them off again. So yeah, it was a journey, and going along, I went through school and of course met you and met a lot of my other clients. And then as I graduated, of course I had a day job. So by day I was a medical claims processor, and by night I was doing hair. And to this day I'm still doing it. I love it. It's not just doing hair for me. It's not. It's more than that. It's more than just making $1. People come in, and yes, I did work at the salon for a long time, and you're right. You are right. I would go in there, and I'd be in there all day. They're eating, they're stopping, they're talking, they're shopping, and I said if I ever had a shop or did hair at home, I would never do that. It's one person at a time. And it was always standard for me, you had a half an hour to be late. After that, as you say, you're gonna have
At 31, it's like,
yeah, and you know, each person was not rushed through. You talk to them, go through their day, you know, and when they come to the house, they meet my family. And for me, is what you see is what you get. I'm as personal, as professional and personal as possible. What you leave at my house stays there.
Absolutely.
Because so many years I've been doing here for 35 years. And so many stories and so many trials, tribulations that have gone through for people. I hold that here. And they leave it there. And they come in one way and they leave another, which is happy. And if they, you know, I make sure they're happy before they leave. I ask them, you know, is there anything that I could change? And when they have that smile on their face, that does everything for me, everything. Because sometimes when people come in and they sit down, they're ready to cut their hair off, or do something completely different, they're cutting their stress off. They're cutting their stress off. They're coming for a new look, a new start. You know, a lot of people, they're like, I'm tired of doing this, I'm tired of doing that, I'm ready for the journey. So when I started doing locks, it was almost like everybody that I was doing braids on, after a while, my hands couldn't take the braids anymore. So 8 to 10 hours. I
That
would
was gonna be
braiding.
something I was gonna interject on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that each of you can relate, because you're on your feet, you're pouring out, even as you're providing a service, you're pouring out. When you do your content, you're pouring out. You're talking to people, you're educating people, you're empowering people. Does that ever get exhausting for any of you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Only yes for me, only because that is not the only thing that I do for the day, but that's not, I don't put that on the client. So when they come and they're paying for a service, they're gonna get that.
Right.
They're gonna get that. It is tiring, it is, and after a while, I did acquire mild arthritis, so I had to stop some services, but only the braiding.
Right.
Only the braiding. Everything else is like everybody started to transition over to locks and, you know, the lock journey. And then they would say, would you start it? I said, yes, I'm going to start it. I'm going to maintain it, and I'm going to show you how to maintain it. Because a lot of people get their locks started, but they can't find someone to maintain them. They can't. And a lot of times it's different methods that are used. I don't believe in all of them. I can do them, but I don't like to, because it's not as healthy depending on how weak or how strong your hair is. That comes into play with a lot of styles, a lot of different textures in ways that you want to do your hair. So it just depends. And as I'm going along with that, I'm teaching along the way. It's not just sit down, get your hair done, and that's it.
So Jess, you mentioned that you work in a professional field. So tell me what it's like being a younger person and you are in a professional arena. And do people see you, or do they see your hair first?
I mean, I think that's a question for people, not for me, but like, what do they see? Are they really seeing me or not? I work with, in the social work field, I'm working directly with clients through intakes and different things like that. So for a very long time, I would hide my hair, and so I would do like just 2 braids, and that way they couldn't really, you know, interrupt the session to talk about my hair. But as over the last year, I've been wearing my hair out a lot more, and it usually is one of the first things that people notice about me, which is totally fine, right? I don't mind that at all. I have a little bit of a different experience than these 2 beautiful women, because I do my own hair. I don't let anyone touch my hair. I haven't been to the salon since I was like this big. So I don't experience these things. I have not had a good customer service ever, and I get the ick when I go sign up and they're like, if you're late, $50 charge. And I see all these different things. I'm like, I'm not going here. And so I don't get box braids. I don't relax my hair. I don't get tired of doing my hair, because I think that goes back to mindset. Whereas if you say that it's too much work, if you say it's a chore, if you say that it's too much, then it's gonna be too much. If you speak it over your hair, you're gonna be struggling there in your bathroom, right? So I just think it's very important to remember that you don't have to go to the salon until you're ready for that salon experience, like she has, right? That's a luxury, treatment that you're getting, and so you might not be able to afford to go to the salon every 2 weeks, or my mom used to go very consistently, but I think the economy looked a lot differently back then. So if you can't afford to go treat yourself to a luxury experience, or to or anything like that, then you can do it on your own at home. That's totally up to you, right? Like sometimes, you could plan, okay, I have this money aside, and then an emergency happens, right? And you no longer have that cash. So I just recommend that people take some time to learn it themselves, or when they're at the salon with someone they trust, ask questions about like how, how to take care of your hair so that when you go home, you're setting yourself up for success when you come back. So I'm sure you've had clients that leave and come back and their hair
Oh,
is just
absolutely.
like out of this world, like they messed it up completely.
Yeah.
They didn't properly maintain it, like, and so I think less is more. That's my motto. I've
Mhm.
always done less is more. I stay away from the certain, well, I don't know if we're gonna get into that, so let me stop. I don't know if we're getting into products later, so I don't wanna like overspeak, but to answer your question, I've had to just submit to the fact that people see my hair before they see me and just be okay with it, because I'm standing in the gap for all the people who said that I couldn't grow my hair long, and now it's all the way to my thighs, and when it's wash day, and all I heard was, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it, and I said, watch me. So it is what it is. I've never liked my hair short, and so I don't ever get those urges to cut all my hair off. Like, I have cerebral dermatitis, and so, you know, a lot of people I speak with who have that condition, if they're having a flare-up, I just want to shave it all off. It's too much to maintain. I'm not shaving my head. Literally, I'm not doing it unless literally God tells me to do it. I'm gonna turn this into a wig, and we're gonna start from scratch. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing it. I'm not. So it's all about what you want. I think that it's important to not put yourself in a box, and you know, don't feel like you have to do your hair a certain way, you have to look a certain way. I don't lay my edges. I almost let my niece do my edges this morning. I was gonna have her do them, but I'm like, for what? Like, you don't ever do them. And so it is what it is. I like to just be myself, and I don't really enjoy the tight styles. I don't enjoy parting my hair. There's just certain things I just don't enjoy doing, so I stopped doing them, and my hair still grew. So
Just adding on to what she was saying about hair, and you're saying some good points about what she's doing to her hair. What you have to realize is, what do you want to accomplish with your hair? That's what it all bottom line down to. What are you really willing to commit to it when it comes to your hair? Knowing who you are and what you like. You see the points that she was saying? She doesn't part her hair. Hair is an investment. Your hair is an investment. You have one head. But what did I say earlier? Everyone's hair can be healthy. But sometimes you do need a professional, because this is what we went to school for and our experience. And this is what we were trained to do. Of course, there's tons of beauty. I worked at a beauty supply place before I opened up my first salon. And there's so many products out there, and a lot of those products are set to destroy our hair. A lot of them have some form of chemicals in them. So you gotta be very careful when you're trying to figure out what's for your hair. Really know what you can do and what you can invest in. So you describing how you know what you want, that is the key.
I know what I don't want.
And what she doesn't want.
I don't want to
So that should be something that we learned really today, right? How the importance of, don't look at someone else's hair. Everybody is different.
That right there.
Your siblings. Is your hair like your, do you have any siblings?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is their hair like yours?
No.
Right. Anybody else? Everybody's hair is different. So you gotta see yourself as an individual.
So I'm
It's
gonna
really
throw this
important.
question at my salon owners. Jess, I'm gonna circle back to you in a minute. Have you guys encounter people coming in with a ripped paper, a ripped picture out of a magazine and saying, I wanna look like this?
Yes, yes.
That's a
And
funny
when
thing.
they come out of the salon and they come out of the experience and they wanna look like Halle Berry,
Mhm.
but they ain't got the hair like Halle Berry.
Right.
So how do you, cause you kinda have to be very therapeutic about what you say and how you
Yeah.
say it, cause you don't wanna offend the person.
Absolutely.
Because those hair magazines probably were like the devil incarnate to some of you guys, because it's like,
Mhm.
you are not Halle Berry. I
Right.
can't make this for you. I can't.
Yeah.
But you can do this yourself. So give me a scenario as to what that was like for either of you.
Well, the first thing I did was I took the hair magazines out of the salon.
Smart.
That's the first thing I did. Because I found that people don't look at the hair, they look at the face.
Right.
It's not gonna look the same.
The second thing is, I tell the client, because they also bring pictures of them 20 years ago, okay? Or, you know, when they were like teenagers and now they're in their 40s. And they're like, my hair used to be this thick. And the key is to really listen and to be honest. But that's a way too where the extension world is good. I know you do locks, because I say to them when they want these different things, have you ever, I call them personality pieces. When I give some form of extension, because I say it changes your personality. So I stop them and look at them as an individual and say, what do you really want to accomplish? What do you like about your hair? What do you not like about your hair? And then also, what's going on in your life? Because a lot of times they're going through stuff. Like you said, when a client comes in and wants a major haircut, I won't just do it. I want to know what's going on, because it's an emotional thing. And that's you got to get to know the emotion of a person when they come in the salon, and even your own self. Because that's why I do like the extensions, the wigs, because it allows you to be somebody else.
You can change up and then you don't have to do something.
But
to
you're
your
not
hair.
loyal to it.
Right.
Because I would say 60% of my clients, basically, who wear extensions, is not because they need the extensions, it's because they're busy. And they, you know, they need something that they can do very quickly. And if they, you know, use that curling iron a little hot, they're not gonna mess up their
But what
own
they need to
hair.
understand is when they do a weave or anything, you still have to maintain your hair.
Right.
Like if it's yours.
Yes,
It's the same thing.
Yes.
When they bring a picture in, I'm going to tell them,
that's
okay,
right.
this is your picture, but your hair is
It's not
this.
that texture.
I can come as close to it as
Right.
this, but it may not look like that. It looks like that on them, but your hair is like this. So
Yes.
we can come as close to it.
Yes.
But and it works a lot of the time. They're like, okay, well, something close to it. Or if they're like, I want to cut my hair, and I'll say, well, is it that you want to cut your hair, or is it that you're tired of it, or you can't do anything with it? I really don't want to cut it, but I don't want to do anything with it. Well, let me show you what it is that you can do better if you really don't want to cut your hair.
Yeah.
And it normally works out.
So I'm gonna shift to the audience for a second.
Yeah.
So the theme is don't touch my crown, and I'm gonna talk about this from a collegiate standpoint, and this is where you're gonna come in, Jess. Appearance is everything. There are days that you may not wanna manage your hair, and I know, and I'm just gonna say it, the bonnets are a thing. The bonnets, clutch my pearls, I know, I said it. Here's the thing, every time you walk out the door, you are a representation of yourself. Every time you walk out the door, whether you're coming to the CAF, whether you're going to a class, people are watching how you move. And your hair is your crown and your glory. So if you walk out, see, when I was coming up, the foam rollers, that was forbidden in my house.
Yeah.
I could, if I was going to the store and I had the foam, you know how we used to put the little foam, put the bang? That was forbidden in my house. I wasn't allowed to walk out of the house with that foam roller in my hair. That was just forbidden. Nowadays, I see people with bonnets, twisties, or whatever you wanna call them things.
Oh, yeah.
Just remember,
Flexi rods.
people, yeah, that. People are watching everything you do, every time you step out the door. So when you wanna run to the store and you think you're not gonna run into somebody you know, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna run into somebody you know, and you're gonna be having that bonnet on. And it's like, the bonnets are fine, but they have a place. And like I said, you see my hair is short. It took me 25 years to get to this point. When I met Kim, my hair was longer than this.
And relax.
And relaxed. When Kiosha met me, my hair was relaxed. I was burning my ear, burning the side of my head, all that stuff just so that I could get out the house in time. And 9 times out of 10, I was 15 minutes late for work trying to be cute, only to have a burn at the top of my head. So all I'm saying to you is that appearance and beauty is everything, and your crown makes a statement. Your hair makes a statement. Every time you style your hair, it makes a statement. You know, so what if you have a hair or two out of place? That doesn't mean that you gotta put a bonnet on just to go out. Now, there's beautiful decorative scarves that you can wear to make yourself look beautiful. That's fine. But if you're gonna go to an interview with a bonnet, come on. You have to dress as if you are being interviewed and people are viewing you every time you step out the door. Because, trust me, you think people are not watching you, but they really, really are. So I say this, and I'm leading into with Jess, with your job, you think about how you even though you are comfortable and confident and exudes with energy about your hair, you are always looking at the perception of when you walk in a room. Like I said, when I asked you the question, do people see you or your hair first? That's why I asked that question. So because of the fact that you graduated from Post and you are more closer to the age to some of these people in the audience, is there a piece of advice you would give them?
Advice, yeah. I have a lot of advice. So I have a lot. So I will say, just to touch on a few things, my hair is never out of place. My hair is, you see frizz, you see it's going up here, there's a huge lump here. Why? Because it's not meant to be flat down. It's not meant to be put in a position that it's not supposed to be in. And as my niece laughs at me, I actually told her when she asked me, she was coming, I said no bonnet. So she started laughing. I was like, please leave the bonnet home. And she respected my wishes, which I was happy about. But I will say that I am now comfortable and confident because of all the years that I put into just accept this is the hair that I have, and I'm gonna stand proud and walk in it. It wasn't always easy. I went to predominantly white schools, and so most of the time people were staring at me just because I was the only black person in the room, right? And then you top it on, you get the hair, it's another layer, another barrier, another conversation. I've had to quit jobs because of my hair, right? That's why the Crown Act is so important, because not necessarily did they make me, but I don't want to be anywhere I'm not wanted. And if you're gonna try to, make these little underhand comments about my hair, then I will go get a better job somewhere else, right? So that's one thing. I will say I've never worn a wig or a weave or anything like that. I don't want to be anyone else but who I am, myself. And no fault to anyone who does it. You guys can do you, but I'm good. And when it comes to my platform, the thing that I'm trying to share and the reason why I started my YouTube channel, how it started was I styling my hair for work in under 10 minutes. Styling my hair for work in under 5 minutes. I have dozens and dozens and dozens of videos to show that you have time. I'm very busy. I have a business, I work full time, I have a cat. We're all busy, and so you make time for the things that are important to you. And when you find techniques and ways to do your hair that are in alignment with your schedule, then you'll be fine. You're not going to be I don't wrestle with my hair. It's not a back and forth battle. I submit to the fact that it's not always gonna look the way I want it to look. But if you do enough prep on wash day to set yourself up for success for the rest of the week, you're going to be fine, and it's not going to take you 45 minutes. As for advice around the flat iron, I think I might have a little bit of a different outlook than everybody else, because in my opinion, I think that depending on your hair goal, not everyone has the same hair goal as she stated, depending on your hair goal, I do think it's important to put that flat iron down, because you're not a professional at the salon using it, which means you're probably going to burn yourself, right? It's not just the ears and the foreheads, it's the entire process. Your scalp is skin. I can't stress this enough. You have a whole skincare regimen, you got a body oil, you got all this stuff for your skin, your body, your scalp is skin. And so that means that it's so important that you keep it clean. When I was coming up, we were doing wash day once a month, right? And when I was stuck at bra strap length like everyone else, I started adding additional wash days into my schedule. I started keeping my scalp clean. My hair started to grow. The texture started to change. My curl pattern is still evolving. I know people don't even believe that, but when I looked at my curls when I started at Post University versus when I graduated versus 2020 versus the last wash and go I did the other day, I'm like, whose hair is this? I don't know. It just keeps on developing, it keeps on changing. And I know that might not be the case for everyone, and all of our hair is different, but it's so important to treat your hair like a plant. Your plant is not going to grow if you throw a wig on and do not shampoo and scrub that scalp for an entire month or 3 weeks or however long you had that installing. Your hair, you might see growth, you might pull it a little bit and see the growth, but that doesn't mean that that skin has been treated the way that it should be treated. Some people really need to stop letting their stylist put edge control on their entire scalp because you're not washing it off and it's clogging your pores. Some people need to stop being product junkies because you have either, oh, your hair is breaking, either protein overload because you're doing too much, or you could have an allergy to a product. There's so many things. You can see a trichologist, you can see a dermatologist, they treat skin. Go take some time to figure out what's going on with your body. It could be stress, it could be so many different things like that. When I have a flare up with my hair, I have to go in with it's shampoo that was prescribed. It's red, some people hate it, but it clears up my scalp. It gets rid of all that inflammation. If you're scratching, it's itchy and it's dry all the time, you need to go speak to a professional who's going to help you treat that. So then when you go and you use a product like over here, anywhere else, that you like it, you have a good experience. Because if you are not treating those underlying conditions and then you go and you use this product, you're gonna think it doesn't work, and now you're not gonna support a small business when her product is bomb, right? So I know that was a lot.
I'll take it.
But that I have, I see it in such a different way, and I think it's so important that you understand that you have options. I'm not like everyone else, and that's fine. You don't have to be like me. But for me, there are certain things that are no, and that's what I want to do. I am not interested in washing my hair all day. It used to be an all-day thing, not anymore. 2 hours max, hour and a half, I got it. I don't like sitting under the deep conditioning cap. It bothers my ears. I don't like the way it feels in the back of my neck, so I stopped doing it because it's my hair care regimen. It has to work for me. So I'm not sitting there deep conditioning for 45 minutes because I don't have 45 minutes, right? And so maybe once a month, maybe if my hair is too dry, I might have to sit there and take a little extra time. But you have to remember that it's your routine. Make it work for you. So if there's a part of the routine that you don't like, find a way to make it work for you. For a lot of people, I tell them swap, and people might not agree with this. You really swap out your conditioner for deep conditioner so you can have a better slip when you detangle. Use water to activate your products. Your products need water to activate. You cannot just put product on your hair and then put some water on it so it can activate, give it time. When you're detangling your hair, I've noticed a lot of people are experiencing a lot of breakage. It's the tension that you're putting in your wrist. Loosen your wrist, just loosen it. Put on some calming music, none of the rah-rah, music. Put on some calming music. Light a candle, have a whole salon experience in your bathroom if you have to, and just take your time. Set yourself up for success so that you're not completely having a whole meltdown and you're on your way to work and your hair looks crazy and you're like, what do I do? And you just throw it up in a bun.
That was a lot, but it was good.
Yeah.
I think that the information that you gave is something that there's a lot of different takeaways and nuggets. So I have to ask you guys, does anybody in the audience have any questions for our panelists? Because they've given you guys great information.
You have a question back there?
She mainly covered everything the questions that I had in my head. She
Yeah.
covered everything. It's mainly because I'm an athlete
Yeah.
and I work out almost 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get an extra workout in because I like staying in my room. I like staying in one place. But that being said, thank you. You covered a lot of clarifications that I will use for myself and imply for my hair. Because I am going on multiple hair journeys, and I think I found one for myself.
Yeah.
Just by her clarification.
And to add on to what she's saying, because I used to work for 2 major hair companies, and that's what made me start my own product line, because they didn't really, all my products are in 2 ounces. People use a lot, too much product, and they don't wash their hair correctly. And we have to be true. What we put in our body is what comes out. That's the key. And that's why I tell everyone, all my clients, to write a journal, okay? And when you go through different breakouts or certain things are happening, let's write it down, certain things that you eat. That's why every time a client comes in, I treat her like it was her first time of consultation. I feel her hair, I touch her hair, I check her scalp, and I say, I can feel when it's long strands, that's stress, short strands, the breakage. People go through, so be your own person. Like, keep an eye on what is going on with your body, because it does make a difference.
And every
One
product
thing
is
about
not
this
for
young
you.
lady, she knows exactly who she is, what she wants. And you gotta learn that with yourself. You have to be your own cheerleader, your own person. Everybody is individual. It's like, get out of, just cause Janie Smith wear these styles, and she's right about the jam, I don't use any of those kind of products, because it's got relaxer in it. How do you think it's laying your hair down?
You're telling people that.
And
Thank you.
working in a
Alcohol.
beauty supply
The
place,
alcohol
I've
dries you
learned
out.
that a lot of, not, saying the Asian, but a lot of those products are destroyed. They're made to destroy our hair, or it's to keep coming by and buying all these products. So take your time and get to know who you are. You're in college now. This is your time to just take it easy. You shouldn't be so serious about what's out there, but have a plan though. Have a goal where it starts with yourself, right? Does that make sense? Any other questions? Because I can't help it, because I'm looking in the audience and everyone's got this like strange faces, and this is why we're here. We're here to answer your questions. Nothing is a wrong question, or
It's
you know,
okay for you to wear your hair.
yes,
It
there's
is
nothing wrong with
okay
it.
for you to wear your hair. Every product is not for you.
Right, and it's
One
okay.
can be for one person, but not for you. You may have to go through a couple of products to know what is for you and for your hair,
Right,
and it's okay for you to walk around. Your hair doesn't make you, you make your hair.
okay.
You wear your hair, you rock your hairstyle. It doesn't make you and who you are. So just remember that. You don't have to look like everybody out here. Look like you.
So no question.
How about you, Alexa? Oh,
I have a
because,
question. How do you know what products are bad for hair?
I'm sorry,
How do you know what products are bad for hair?
what products are bad for hair? That's interesting.
Trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error is
Trial and
one.
error.
And what's your goal and what you're trying to accomplish, do you do a lot of color?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and so it's very important with color that you do protein treatments to make the hair tight and stuff. And you have to switch it up. Do you do your color yourself?
No.
Okay, you have to make sure at the salon, because sometimes their volumes are too high. If you've been doing color a lot, you don't have to always make it so strong. That's why in between, I may do a permanent color, a semi, protein treatments, like, it's gotta be a regimen. So you ask your stylist these questions. What color line are you using? What's the volume that you're using? Making sure you're having that relationship. And the thing with getting color is very important to keep your hair moist, and, just make sure you're not overdoing it, But talk to your stylist. If you have a stylist that you're, dealing with on a regular basis, talk to them. Did I answer that for you?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would also like to add, that, 2024 technology is a big thing. And so there are actually apps that you can download on your phone that when you go to the store, you can take a picture of the product, the label, and it'll go through the ingredients and it'll tell you more about them. So that's also another option that you have. There is also AI to help you pick hair products, and so, that's something else if you're interested, and after this, I could see if I
Okay.
could find you the link as well. Because there is more than one way. I also, think
Good.
that a lot of the stuff that's black owned is typically, certain products are just not in them versus the stuff that you're gonna see on the shelves at Walmart and things like that. So I do think a lot of times shopping small, like a local salon or a small business where they're making the products themselves, the ingredients are cleaner, plant-based, that will also set you up for success if you're, questioning that. But yes, if you have a certified stylist, please ask them, because they might have something in the salon that you can take home with you and you can use so that when you do go back to them for your next treatment, your hair is not completely destroyed. But I also want to point out that dry hair is not illegal, despite what the product police tell you. My hair is very dry right wash it, you're gonna get hydration in it again. Do not panic. I hear my hair is so dry. I'm like, okay, that is all right. Let's get you some products in there, and that's also an indication that it's time to wash your hair again, right? So after a week, you know, your hair is going to be dry. That's okay. Wash your hair. Your hair is too dry. Wash your hair.
And to add on, what you put in your body is very important.
Yes.
You have to hydrate yourself.
I
All
was
of
gonna
that.
say,
Water.
water.
Water is the key. Water
Yep.
is the key.
I know many of you probably, water is not, you don't have a good relationship with water, but I'm telling you, water can do wonders for your hair,
Yes,
and it can do
yes,
wonders for your
everybody.
skin.
Mhm.
I mean, like, the thing is, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I've got all these dark marks. Are you drinking water? Or are you drinking imitation water? Or that stuff that they sell on the shelves? I wasn't a big fan of water for quite some time, but once I started drinking it and really having a regimen about it, it definitely changed everything. So we are at the top of the hour, everybody. So what I'd like to do is, first of all, thank our panelists for coming. They gave us I encourage you to connect with each of them if you want to learn more about what they do, and if you want to utilize their services, or just connect with them on social. I encourage you to do that. I wanted to bring them here for that reason as well. But I also have some vendors in the building. So I have Quash's,
Cassius Queenie.
I told you I was gonna do that, didn't I?
It is okay.
I knew it. You should have just
I'm here for
you
you.
should have just put your hand up and just say, don't do it. I should have just let her speak. So, I'm gonna tell you, I am a client of hers. She makes her own shea butter. She makes her own body butter. She does essential oils. She has lip balm. And for the men in the room,
Yeah, the men in
she
here.
has this body butter called Cree. Oh my God, my son is addicted to this stuff. And it's like, she provides you with a spoon where you can smooth it. He just loses his doggone mind. It's got the whole house smelling like Cree. They're like, dude,
That
just
hair
a
oil
little
is
bit.
everything too.
That's one of my best sellers, so I always sell out of it.
And also, if you have a beard, she has oil for beards and stuff, and she provides you with lots of products with that. So, Rocky over here is our arch queen. She does eyebrows, and she would like to offer her services today. We want to make sure that we honor her time. If you want to get your eyebrows done, she is there to support you. And then we have
Candy, that's mine, sorry. One of my sponsors donated some Scalp Bliss. It's completely free, so some free samples for you guys, and some pamphlets.
And like I said, I want you guys to connect with these ladies because like I said, they have a wealth of knowledge, as you can see. And who knows, you may be able to go in for a consultation with them and just have a conversation about your hair journey and what you'd like to do. And like I said, while you're here, you might as well take advantage of that knowledge because once you graduate, you're gonna be hitting the ground, you're gonna be grinding, and it's gonna be like, hey, or what? You're gonna be trying to get out there and get that money. So I definitely want you to connect with these guys, and I truly appreciate the time that they took out today because I learned some things. Even though I've known Kim and Yosha, I'm just getting to know Jess. There's some things I'm still learning. It's an evolving journey when it comes to your hair. Like I said, even with my hair being this short, I've got to pay attention to what I put in my body, just like Kim said. As soon as I put something in my body that's off, my hair lets me know. My hair lets me know. The way my hair feels lets me know. The way that my skin feels lets me know. So like I said, your crown is something that people are gonna look at, and the Crown Act is something that I definitely support because of the fact that one would go far away, I would not have been able to get away with this. They would have been like, ooh, she looks like a dude, you know, whatever. But I have embraced this look. I remember when I first came home and I cut all my hair off.
Yeah.
My husband didn't know how to process it right away because it was just like, oh, so this is what you do. Yeah, this is what I'm doing. Knowing what I know now, I should have done this when my kids were little. Do you don't know how many late days I could have avoided getting to work if I had this? So, anyways, And for those of you in the audience, thank you so much for coming. I
Yeah.
hope that you guys had some valuable takeaways. And again, help yourselves to going over to the vendors and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, Dr. Wilson, there you are.
Oh my
Dr. Wilson is our assistant provost, and she wanted to come and support. She's also one of our faculty advisors. I didn't even see her come in. Yes.